Polite Enquiries, SCG, Day 2. Chitteron John says, should Khawaja start opening for Australia henceforth? I do like the henceforth.
And forthwith, and indeed thereafter. He didn't score his runs opening today, did he? Did I miss that?
I think what they're saying is that when Head is not got the COVID, that Khawaja will move up to the top. I did have a look. He averages 39 opening the batting. He's done it about 30 times in first-class cricket. He obviously bats at first drop a lot. I don't think there's any reason why he can't do it. It probably just depends on how they feel about Harris. But I do think that if you are picking a non-specialist opener in Test cricket at the moment, being that no one is lasting very long against a new ball, it's perhaps a slightly more dangerous thing than in previous eras where it's like, it doesn't matter, just chuck them up there. But having said that, I think Khawaja will be okay if they deem henceforth post-with to use him in that position.
Yes, I mean, given his strengths, I suppose, and Australia's challenges, commitments over the next year or so, opening kind of in 10 tests on the subcontinent, that might be more in his wheelhouse. Marcus Harris doesn't seem desperate to snap up the role for a long term, does he? So
they're just fighting to see who is going to be dismissed by Ashwin or Pereira.
yeah, go for it, lads. Knock yourself out.
Saeed says, other than Joe Root, which English player can find a place in the current Aussie squad? I think they'd still I think Ben Stokes would still get a game. I think Jimmy Anderson might play ahead of Scott Boland, if we're being completely honest.
You could have him in the squad, couldn't you? Just in case, you got a green seamer somewhere, just in case.
Yeah, I think so. I think those guys are obvious. But yeah, it's a fair question. I don't think there's any other batters that we're missing there. I don't think Jack Leach is knocking on the door of Australian selection.
I mean, Stuart Broad put his hand up again. His 125th Ashes wicket, I think he took today in the course of a fifer. So, squad option. I know he's getting a bit old.
He doesn't even always get an England side.
Well, squad. We're talking about squad. They're big squads these days. You've got to take loads of players for COVID.
What a net bowler he would be. Ashwin says, football, tennis, all play afternoon and evening, so why can't Test cricket? Well, it does. I mean, we do have day-night Test cricket. I think we just probably got a little bit further behind. It's also, let's be honest, the pink balls are rubbish. We haven't spent any money in developing them. And traditionally, we haven't done it. But there's no reason why all Test cricket could be played at night. Eventually we have to look at problems for dew, although we have problems for dew in our white ball cricket as well. And we have to make the pink ball slightly better or another ball slightly better. But essentially, the pink and the white balls don't last very long. And that's the major problem at the moment, I think, with day-night Test cricket. But yeah, it's worth a lot more money and it's probably nicer to watch a summer sport in the evening than it would be during the middle of the day.
Not in England, I would say, but
Well, you don't want to go to a day-night game in Durham in September.
Yeah, we have tried it once here. I presume this is about time lost in the match because it does. I mean, it's raining in Sydney. It does rain after the sun sets as well. I think that's the main problem with this test in particular.
It does rain a lot in Sydney. Everyone says this. V. Collins says, has Australia lured England into a false levels of moderate crisis by picking a weakened team in Brisbane only to reveal Neser, Boland and Khawaja? I mean, it's funny. Khawaja is currently the only England players that have scored more runs than him this series are Milan and Root. He went past Wokes. Wokes was third. He went past Wokes in this series. And you think about it, if Khawaja played for England, he'd have the second best test average in that team.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of numbers that don't reflect well on England in this series, and that's another one of them. It's interesting that it's like the replacements. Australia were the unchangeables, weren't they, in 13-14? This is all about the replacement guy, the other guys, because Jai Richardson came in and took a fifer, Scott Boland came in and took a sixfer. Khawaja's come in and scored 100. No England player has scored 100. No England player has taken a 5. Until Stuart Broad did with the final wicket before Australia declared in this innings, which tells you plenty. It's none of it looks good from an England perspective. But well done to Aussie and the other lads.
Also worth mentioning that England's top run scorer this calendar year is currently extras.
He's Mr. Consistent. I mean, after last year as well.
That's who Alistair Cook should be opening with. Will Cool League says, not to bang on about this, but surely Mark Wood can't actually be unlucky every innings he bowls. Why isn't he getting more people out? Look, it's a good question. I thought he bowled really well again today, to be fair. There was at no stage did I think he was, I don't, it's not very rare I watch Mark Wood and think, oh, he's never going to take wickets. And I think for a long time we saw similar things with Mohammad Shami. Eventually good bowlers take wickets. I thought he did really well, but I understand your point.
I haven't seen the data, but he could have broken a lot of mirrors in the past. I mean, we just don't know, do we? You might have seen a black cat this morning. He just doesn't seem to go his way. But
it's incredible, isn't it? Because we can have stats on Stuart Broad's headband and absolutely no stats on whether Mark Wood has ever broken a mirror. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.